Welcome back, guys and girls, and a few stories to cover today. But first of all, we're going to focus on the boxing and strongman area for Core Sports Worlds, and they've just announced their second exhibition match is going to be in May. Not an official date as yet, and that's going to be with Alex Simon here, aka Godly Strong. He's an Australia's strongest man and very accomplished powerlifter, and he will be going up against Hafthor Bjornsson in his second exhibition match, like I said, which was originally scheduled for April, but it's now been moved to May. We don't know the date yet, but as soon as we know, I will let you guys know. So a few things about Alex. He's 30 this year. He's got pretty similar stats to Eddie Hall. At his heaviest at 24, he was 180 kilos, 6'3", and he's dropped 30 kilos since he retired from powerlifting. So he retired in 2017. His last meet he went to was the Big Dogs 2, where he actually totaled 1,077.5 kilos, which is absolutely crazy. He only started powerlifting, by the way, guys, in 2014, and after like a 6-month injury, he managed to basically in the space of 2 years accomplish crazy things in the powerlifting world, obviously becoming Australia's strongest man, like I said, and all at the tender age of 25. So, but because of injuries and the stress to his health and whatnot, he decided to call it a day in October 17, and hasn't done any competition since. However, he's always been a fan of combat sports, and he actually started doing MMA April of 2018, and his record stands at 2 KOs, so he's obviously undefeated in the heavyweight category. Like I mentioned, he lost 30 kilos, so he's sitting about 145, 150 kilos when he competes, and his goal is to actually enter the UFC heavyweight division one day. And he's got a lot of backing from a lot of the famous athletes. He's worked with UFC fighters in the past. Conor McGregor backs him, so you know, the guy's a brute. He's absolutely massive, and I think he stands a really good chance against Hafthor. Obviously, Hafthor, as we know, he's had his first exhibition match. There's lots of you know, things on social media and whatnot, various YouTubers like myself who had different views and opinions on that fight. I still believe he's doing a great thing by having these fights, preparing him for Eddie Hall. And I think in terms of what he's going to go for with Alex, it's a much closer matchup than it was with Stephen Ward. Obviously, the first fight he had where Stephen was significantly smaller than him, and it was a real David versus Goliath battle there. So I think this one will really test Hafthor. He's obviously improving with his fitness, his cardio, he's losing weight still, he's getting faster, he's getting more speed, he's generally improving his boxing technique, and obviously generally knowing how to fight and throw a punch and move around. But because of the way that Alex is so dominant, has already done quite well in MMA, which, yes, we know it's not all about stand-up, but I think it's going to be a real test. And this is a great fight to put together, to be honest. I'm really pleased that Core Sports World and they've put this together for these two to come as a matchup, because it's likely to be probably the closest thing that he can face before Eddie. Obviously, with Eddie's still preparing, as we know, just like Hafthor. He's very confident in himself, saying he's going to smash his face in. He knows what he wants to do. He wants to destroy him. Obviously, there's still a bit of beef flying around on social media between the two, as to be expected. I think this will be a real eye-opener, though, for Eddie when he sees what sort of damage can be done to Hafthor potentially, or vice versa, when he goes up against Alex, because Alex is, like I said previously, very similar to Eddie in terms of size, strength, stature. So it will be interesting to see what happens after that fight, no matter what happens. As we know, it's an exhibition, so they can't knock each other out, but there will be clearly it's a proper heavyweight boxing match, and this is what Eddie is going to be doing with Hafthor. He is a heavyweight, you know, they are, between them, you know, they're about 300 odd kilos, and it's the same thing's going to stand with Hafthor and Eddie. So this is a great matchup. I'm really excited for it. I don't know what you guys think. I think it's probably the best matchup so far. Obviously, there might be a third fight, but like I said, on Core Sports Worlds, they've actually removed that initial link that I had that said it was going to happen in June, so we'll see what happens there. Funny enough, Hafthor said that he wants to fight the Gypsy King after Eddie. He believes that he's got a chance against him. I don't know if that's just a bit of a random thing to say just to try and get some trending subjects on social media and whatnot, you know. But that would be quite a funny fight if that did happen. Obviously, these are the highlights from what we saw with his first exhibition match with Stephen, where it was obviously classed as a draw, but as we saw, Stephen did still dominate despite being the much smaller athlete, but he is a seasoned professional boxer. So see how well that fight goes. I'm interested to think what you guys know, so let me know in the comment section below what you think about this second exhibition match. And in general, even before that, what are your thoughts on Eddie and Hafthor? Do you think at this stage Eddie still got it over Hafthor? Personally, to me, I think, looking at Eddie's training, this is one from a couple of weeks ago, I think he's still the better boxer and got better ability to really do some damage to Hafthor. But as we know, Hafthor may be holding back. He may be hiding what's really there. It could all be for show, you know, to basically lure Eddie in, so he's thinking to himself, this is going to be easy, I'm going to dominate, and actually his tactics are to completely destroy him. But we'll see, obviously, on the day for that, when it happens later in the year in Las Vegas. I think it's September, top of my head. But there will be such an exciting fight, and I'm really, really pumped for that. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about this second exhibition match. Who have you got down? Who are you betting on? Who do you think is going to take it? Personally, from what I've seen from Alex, I think he's going to do better in points, but at the same time, because he's coming from MMA and then doing boxing, he may not have the skill set there to actually do well. So we'll see. So the second story today, and one that I was quite surprised to see, but also I thought was pretty cool, to be honest. Core Sports World have teamed up with Personal Record, and as some of you may know, that's the brand that Larry Wills has. And what they're going to do, they're actually on May the 28th, they're going to have live on pay-per-view only via Core Sports World. You're going to have the World Arm Wrestling League heavyweight division competition, and this is going to be the decider for Devon No Limits Larratt, and also we've got Michael, aka the Monster Todd. Now here's Larry with Devon, and as you know, Larry is a massive arm wrestling fan and is actively involved in the sport and has been for quite some time on YouTube. So Devon, you know, a few things about him. He's 45 years old, he's a Canadian, and he is obviously an arm wrestling legend. Many people probably recognise him even if they don't actually really know him. He's a champ in both hands, may I add. He had to switch to left for quite some time because there's some very bad injuries to the right side. So for a while he was actually competing on the left side only, but now he's able to compete again on the right. And you know, he's got so many records. You know, he's absolutely smashed it. He's actually got 9 first place winnings in the heavyweight division from 2014 to 2017 in the World Arm Wrestling League. So separate to any other ones that he's also won before. I could list endless achievements. But as we know, in 2011 he actually managed to beat Michael Todd. This was the first time these two had been competing at this level, and obviously that's where the rivalry started, because in 2018 they met again, and this time Michael actually beat him. So now they're at 1-1, and this is going to be the decider, this competition, because the best of 3. Hopefully they don't go to 5. I think they should just call it at 3 and leave it there to see who's the best. May I add, on both of those comps, by the way, they both use the right hand, so, and I believe they will be still sticking to the right hand for this this final competition between the two. I've pulled up their current stats here, and as you can see, Michael's at 16-3, whereas Devon being 34-4. So some pretty good stats between the two of them. Obviously, like I mentioned, they are rivals. Interesting though, the weight difference is quite significant between the two. Obviously, Devon being the taller man, he's actually almost 18 kilos lighter than Michael. So doesn't always make a difference though in arm wrestling. As some of you may know, weight is not always the key thing. There are many skills and shall we say attributes the man has, or woman, which can benefit them in that competition and how they do performance wise. So as we know, they are fairly well evenly matched. I'm really excited to see it. I haven't covered arm wrestling before, but I haven't mentioned to you guys, my subscribers, I do actually like arm wrestling. I don't think there's anyone in the world who hasn't at some point tried to do arm wrestling just for fun, or to settle a debt, you know, or just amongst friends, you know, to prove who's the strongest. I haven't mentioned a few things about Michael though. Michael is American. He's 47, and he actually holds 18 world titles and 34 national ones as well. So he has absolutely bossed it in the sport. And what I do like about it, just like strongman, the two of them have a lot of banter between one another on social media, but they're good friends. You know, they don't hate each other. There's obvious rivalry, but they're not like immature, rude, disrespectful, or in any way non-sportsmen. They are good sportsmen, and I really like that about them too, because it's the same thing in strongman and powerlifting. It's like a community. They're friends. Of course, when it comes to the actual comp, everything is on the line, and they want to kid each other and win. But separate to that, they're good, genuine, decent guys, and I'm really excited to see this happen. Obviously, we're very interesting, and it's great that Core Sports World has added this to their catalogue now of competitions that they're going to showcase online for us, because there's still some restrictions in the world, as we know, with COVID. But nonetheless, this is a nice new addition. It's going to complement what's going on in May as well, with obviously Hafthor. So that's great. We've got two. So we've got one big boxing fight coming up and this arm wrestling competition. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you think about this this competition between Michael and Devon. Let me know who you think is going to win. And I hope you liked today's video, guys. If you did, as always, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will make a video post-fight and also post-competition for the arm wrestling, so we can review that afterwards and have a good old chat. So anyway, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon. Amigo and Finis, signing out.